Oh man, a tough day for crypto. Bitcoin down 2.6% here. Markets falling to the downside as the ledger hack plus some new news from the SEC comes to rotate risk off slightly here. Now, it's been a strong week. It's been a strong week not from a price perspective, but from a policy perspective. If we have had Jerome Powell deliver us a little bit of a New Year's gift, but markets are looking to rotate a little bit here, taking some of that risk off after some impressive gains over the last couple of weeks. Where is support? How low can this dump go? And what are my price targets here for Bitcoin? As always, guys, smash up the likes. Don't forget to subscribe if you appreciate the content. You're going to love what I'm sharing in our Telegram group. I share my exact trade analysis. So when I see an altcoin which I like, if I see a pattern which I like, I share exactly how I like trading those patterns. What type of pattern am I seeing? How would I tackle that trade? If you want to see that type of stuff, ijazzcrypto.com/TG. Now let's get straight into this. You can see the hourly chart here on Bitcoin has pretty much just been throwing up here, right? We kind of meandered here up towards 43 earlier today, and then from this morning here, just boom, plummeted to the downside. And again, retesting that 41.6 level. We held it here. Right, we held it yesterday after the ledger attack, which, by the way, if you haven't watched my video from yesterday explaining what happened with the ledger attack, make sure you go watch that. I break down everything. I broke that. As soon as the news broke, I was one of the first to put that video out there. So guys, make sure you go watch that. But the reality is, if you're watching this concerned about your ledger, just remember, this was to do with their Connect library. So I don't want to spread unnecessary FUD. Look, the reality is at times like this, and always within crypto, it's about what's the greater evil, right? The fact is there are only certain reputable hardware wallets out there. So would I suddenly overnight be like, oh, am I not going to use a ledger? I think that would be silly. But would I say, hey, look, I'm going to spread my risk. I'm going to have some on Ledger. I'm going to have some on a Trezor. I'm going to have some on a soft wallet, like a Trust wallet. Maybe I'll even keep a little bit on exchanges. That way, if any one thing is compromised, I'm always spread out. I'm diversified. And you guys know I've always shared that approach, right? I cannot vouch for anything. I can't vouch for Ledger. I can't vouch for Trezor. I can't vouch for Binance. I can't vouch for USDT. This crypto space teaches you one thing, right? Be very, very suspicious of everything. And that way you're going to stay safe, right? So don't have all your money in USDT. Equally, don't have all your money in USDC. Spread everything out. Don't have it all on Binance. Equally, don't have it all on Coinbase or Kraken or Bybit or anything, right? Diversify, diversify, diversify. And hopefully that reminded us yesterday. That being said, it was a software issue. Let's not spread FUD unnecessarily. It was a software hack. I covered that off yesterday. It meant that if you connected your ledger, right, or you connected through a wallet, which was using Ledger Connect, right, to adapt, you could have been affected, right? If you've got your ledger parked away in your drawer somewhere, you've not connected it in the last 24, 36 hours, great. Do not connect it up, leave it disconnected wherever it is, and let this all settle down. That's the most important thing as a public service announcement for you guys. Cool. So we can see that here on the hourly chart, Bitcoin is struggling here to the downside. I'm going to come on to the SEC news, which doesn't look good either. But before we do that, let's try to understand where does support sit, right? When you sit and look at this pattern, there's a couple of situations that I'm looking at from a TA perspective, which can start to play out. And the first one I'm going to share with you guys is, oh, look at my face frozen. But the first one I'm going to share with you guys is, can we just rotate from here? Right? Yesterday we held 41.7 as support, this yellow line. Today we're trying to hold it as support. So the immediate bullish situation is, can we create a low? Can we create a higher low? And can we therefore just bounce from here and continue to work our way up? Nice, that'll be great. But what's the other scenario? Well, the other scenario is that we're doing the exact opposite. We created a high, we're creating a lower high, lower low, and that way we're going to go down this way, okay? So both things are in play right now. In essence, what we are forming, if you wanted to be very pedantic about it, is we're forming a big triangle, right? If I take this move here, you can say that's a triangle there, and that's the bottom of your triangle, and where is this triangle going to consolidate and break to, right? That's pretty much what we're watching here on Bitcoin. So it's very important that we hold a higher low. If we don't, we start falling down to this level, right? If we start falling down to that next level, which comes down at 40,000, then we start trending here to the downside. And if we lose 40,000, then your next support is at 39.1. That's my downside risk. Now, in order to see positivity, we need to rotate here. We need to see a bounce from here, and we need a higher high above this one. So we need to get above 43.5. That's this line here, right? In order to keep our momentum to the upside. Now, something interesting happens when I switch this up to the daily chart. If you look at the daily chart, remember what I said. we need to be able to break out. You're not going to see me in this video, but we need to be able to get above this level, right? When we bounce from the EMA ribbon like we just did, consolidated, boom, into our EMA ribbon, it was important that we broke above this level, but we're showing weakness right now. So this is exactly what I was worried about, is that on the bounce away from the EMA ribbon, we show weakness and curl over. And if we do see weakness, then all these levels in the daily EMA ribbon start to come into play. And these are levels I would love to nibble at. I mean, if we come down here, into the EMA ribbon deep at 38.4, I would love to nibble. If we come into this level at 39, I'd love to be nibbling around these areas. I didn't want to chase it up here, right? On this candlestick, when you're hitting highs of 45,000, I don't want to be nibbling. If I instead can be buying here at 39 or 38, that is what I'd love to do here on Bitcoin, okay? So those are the levels I'm looking at in the chart. And also, I did want to cover off this with you guys in terms of what's going on with the SEC. So take a look at this, guys. This was the ledger issue, but this is the SEC issue I want to share with you. SEC denies Coinbase push for crypto regulations as unwarranted. Okay, let's take a look at this. US crypto exchange Coinbase's petition to the Securities Exchange Commission to prod it towards a system of tailored rules for digital assets was rejected by the regulator on Friday. The existing securities regime appropriately governs crypto asset securities. This is insane that Gary Gensler can come out and actually, say that publicly, that he thinks the current securities regime appropriately governs crypto. I mean, no way. The whole point behind this, whether it's CZ and Binance, whether it's Brian Armstrong at Coinbase, everybody has been saying, look, US, you have not been clear on what is right and what is wrong. It's a grey area. There is no clarity. And stop acting like there was a clear route for us to just come in and get signed up with you and be regulated with you. No, crypto was a grey area and you've not been clear. But Gary Gensler is doubling down on that. He's saying, no, it's super clear. I'm not going to put more crypto regulation forward. It is clear in the current regime that governs crypto asset security. Very, very interesting that he's arguing that and saying that the SEC has sufficient authority in the current laws that exist today. Very, very interesting that's taking place. If we take a look at the US traditional markets as well, it's also worth noting that they're cooling off a little bit as well. Not surprising, right? It's 7 weeks winning streak here for the Dow Jones. I mean, let's put this into crypto's perspective. Let's take a look at crypto here. So if we look at Bitcoin, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin has had so many positive weeks in a row. Let's just zoom in. Look at these Bitcoin candles, right? So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row. Right? If you had a 9th one in the row, Bitcoin has not seen that since, I think, 2013. It's not seen more than 8 green candles in a row, right? So this is perfectly normal. When I look at this chart on the weekly time frame, and again, sorry for this being really messy. It's got all my lines on it right now. But when you look at this, there's nothing wrong with this wanting to pull back, right? Even down to the EMA ribbon at 33.6. I know that sounds crazy to a lot of you guys, but I do not mind a pullback there, and I certainly will be adding and buying quite a lot if we come back to retest these levels. And more importantly, if we did retest them, it sets us up even more positively for a bigger move to the upside. So if we do come down to the weekly EMA ribbon, no issues whatsoever. The fact that we're setting ourselves up for a red week this week is not bad at all. Flushes out some of the leverage, gets the market to calm down and consolidate a bit, and sets us up for another powerful move further down the line. So there you have it, guys. That's the status quo for Bitcoin here on a Friday. If you appreciate this type of content, make sure you smash up likes. Make sure you subscribe. Sorry you guys can't see my face right now. Malfunction on the tech side. And I'll see you in the next one.